Can a dream survive when the dreamer cannot even see the world around him? The little boy sat alone on a dusty roadside, his fingers gently touching the strings of his old instrument as tears rolled down his face. Cars passed. People hurried by. The world moved on. But nobody noticed the blind boy singing his heart out beneath the scorching African sun. Nobody knew that hidden behind those sightless eyes was a voice powerful enough to touch millions. Nobody knew that one day, the same boy begging on the streets would stand before crowds across the world. Because sometimes, the greatest stars are born in the darkest places. And sometimes, destiny arrives when hope seems completely lost. Before we continue this emotional and inspiring story, kindly like, share, comment, and subscribe to Elvis the Great Stories for more powerful African stories filled with suspense, life lessons, faith, love, and inspiration. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another amazing story. In a small town in Nigeria lived a blind boy named Samuel. Samuel had lost his eyesight at a very young age. He never knew what the sky looked like. He never saw the beauty of flowers. He never saw the faces of the people around him. Yet despite his blindness, God had given him an extraordinary gift. A gift that amazed everyone who heard him. Samuel could sing beautifully. His voice was soft, powerful, emotional, and unforgettable. He could also play musical instruments naturally. Without formal training, he learned how to play local drums, shakers, and string instruments simply by listening carefully. Music became his eyes. Music became his comfort. Music became his world. Sadly, life was not kind to him. After losing his father, Samuel was left in the care of his stepmother. Instead of showing him love, she treated him badly. She constantly reminded him that he was a burden. Many days, Samuel went to bed hungry. Many nights, he cried himself to sleep. To survive, he would sit by the roadside every day, singing and playing music while kind strangers gave him small amounts of money. Some people pitied him. Some admired his talent. But very few truly cared about him. One afternoon, while performing near a market, Samuel heard a song playing from a nearby shop. The moment he heard the voice, something happened inside him. He stopped singing. He listened carefully. Every word touched his heart. Every note inspired him. The singer was a famous Nigerian music superstar named David King. David King was loved across Africa. His songs played everywhere. On radio stations. In buses. At parties. In homes. Samuel immediately became his biggest fan. Every chance he got, he listened to David King's music. Soon, he memorized every song. Every lyric. Every melody. People passing by would stop in amazement whenever Samuel sang David King's songs. Some even thought the original singer was nearby. His voice was that good. Deep inside his heart, Samuel had one impossible dream. He wanted to meet David King one day. Just once. Even though he knew he would never be able to see his face. Years passed. Then one day, exciting news spread through town. A billionaire was organizing a grand birthday celebration for his daughter. The event would attract important guests from all over Nigeria. Most importantly, David King would be performing live. The moment Samuel heard the news, his heart began racing. This was his chance. His dream was finally within reach. But there was one problem. Nobody wanted to take him there. Everyone was too busy. Some ignored him completely. Others laughed at the idea. That night, Samuel cried. For hours. His dream seemed impossible once again. Then something strange happened. A strong feeling filled his heart. A quiet voice inside him seemed to whisper. Go. Samuel did not understand how. But he decided to obey. The next morning, he picked up his walking stick and began his journey. The event was magnificent. Luxury cars filled the compound. Security guards stood everywhere. Famous people moved through the crowd. Music echoed across the venue. When Samoa finally arrived, exhausted and sweating, nobody paid attention to him. The crowd was too large. The security was too tight. Every attempt to get close to David King failed. Hours passed. Then David King finally performed. The audience cheered wildly. The performance ended. Samoa felt his heart break. He had come so far. Yet he could not get close enough to speak to his hero. Tears filled his eyes. Then suddenly, something extraordinary happened. As people began leaving the venue, Samoa slowly lifted his head. Then he started singing. He sang one of David King's most popular songs. The moment the first note left his mouth, the entire atmosphere changed. People stopped walking. Conversations stopped. The crowd became silent. His voice was breathtaking. Powerful. Pure. Beautiful. Even David King, who was preparing to leave, suddenly froze. He turned around immediately. Who is singing? The crowd pointed toward Samoa. It is a blind boy. David King stood still. Amazed. Bring him to me. The crowd parted instantly. Samoa was carefully guided toward the superstar. David King knelt beside him. What is your name, young man? Samoa. How did you learn my songs? Samoa smiled shyly. I listen to them every day. David looked emotional. You sing them better than many professional singers. The crowd laughed warmly. Then Samoa spoke softly. One of my greatest dreams was to meet you. David smiled. I am happy we finally met. Samoa lowered his head. I only wish I could see your face. Those words touched everyone present. Many people wiped tears from their eyes. Even David became emotional. David suddenly grabbed Samoa's hand. Come with me. Together they walked back onto the stage. The crowd exploded with excitement. David handed Samoa a microphone. Then the music started. Samoa began singing. The audience stood in amazement. Then he surprised everyone even more. He sat behind a drum set and began playing perfectly. His rhythm was incredible. His timing was flawless. The crowd could not believe what they were witnessing. People cheered. Some cried. Others recorded the unforgettable moment. By the end of the performance, Samoa had become the star of the event. After the show, David invited Samoa to speak privately. There, Samoa shared his painful story. He spoke about losing his father, about being mistreated, about loneliness, about begging on the streets. David listened quietly. When Samoa finished speaking, tears filled David's eyes. Then he said something that shocked everyone. From today, you are not alone. Samoa looked confused. David smiled warmly. I want to adopt you and help you build your future. Samoa burst into tears. For the first time in years, he felt loved. As Samoa and David spent more time together, their friendship grew stronger. Although David was already a global music star, Samoa's faith deeply influenced him. Samoa loved singing songs that praised God. Every morning, he sang with joy. Every evening, he worshipped with gratitude. Slowly, David became curious. Then inspired. Then transformed. Samoa's faith changed him completely. Soon, David began creating uplifting music that inspired people around the world. Their songs carried messages of hope, faith, love, purpose, and encouragement. Millions listened. Millions were inspired. Years later, Samoa became one of the most beloved gospel musicians in the world. His songs touched hearts across continents. His story inspired millions. Major companies offered him endorsement deals. Television stations interviewed him. Concert halls filled wherever he performed. The blind boy who once begged on the roadside had become a global inspiration. Yet despite all his success, Samoa remained humble. He never forgot where he came from. And he never forgot the day destiny introduced him to David King. During an international interview, a reporter asked Samoa, "If you could speak to the little boy you once were, what would you tell him?" Samoa smiled softly. Then he replied, "I would tell him not to give up." The room became silent. He continued, "Just because you cannot see your future does not mean God cannot." Tears filled many eyes. Then Samoa faced the camera. "And tell me, how many dreams are waiting for one opportunity to shine? How many talented children are suffering because nobody believes in them? And what if the person the world ignores today becomes the person who inspires the world tomorrow?" Samoa smiled. And somewhere deep inside the crowd, hope was born again.